Hi, it's Thursday, November 22nd. Happy Thanksgiving. Taking a look at ES and the trade that we did over this holiday session with futures and see how that lines up with S&P 500 and where we might go tomorrow for a half session. And more importantly, whatever's going to happen tomorrow will kind of give us a lead way into how we start next week, which I had personally thought maybe we might have, we might have rallied on Wednesday and followed through on that on Friday and then come in on Monday and sold things off. But they got the selling party going started early. Right around lunchtime, we had made our high for the day on Wednesday, and from there on out, we kind of slid down the road from there and sold off into the close in the final 30 minutes or so. Just really selling accelerated on down and closed at a lower low on the day altogether. So here's the 5-minute chart of ES. Here was Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we had made our low over here right off of the open on Tuesday night futures and then came up and made an initial high around 26.50 and backed off to 26.45 or so and consolidated there and then worked our way up over the course of the middle of the regular trading hours session to our high on Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, when we came down towards the end of the day on that sell-off into the bell, we broke down below this 26.50 area again. And then by the time futures reopened Wednesday night, we were back to this 26.45 again, right at around the same time we had hit it on Tuesday night. So it was kind of a round trip effect all the way back. They gave it one more go up, but then it was just boom, down from there. And as you can see, by about 11:15 this morning, we were making a lower low at 26.27, breaking the low that we had been setting on the week around 26.32 handle. So a lower low in general, which is going to get resolved at some point in time. So we've got to expect that we'll be seeing lower lows still. Never thought that 26.32 or 31 or whatever it was that we tested on S&P 500 was a close enough test to the 26.03 low we had made in October. So that it makes sense that, we're going to have one more push down at least to that. And then if that 26.03 breaks, then we know we've got, more correcting to do, that even that isn't enough to hold us for our little holiday, quote unquote, Santa Claus rally that we might have going into Christmas. But in any case, so that was the low, and we came back when we closed the Thursday holiday futures closed at 26.32. And as you can see, here we are trading now. We're all the way back up here, pushing up towards 26.40. So obviously overnight, and by the time we open tomorrow, if we're all the way back up here between 26.45 or maybe even back above 26.50, then obviously, the name of the game was to just go wild here while the U.S. was off, and that the boys want things back where they left them on Wednesday, and we're going to just start flat and then decide where we go from there. And then on Wednesday, when we were having that rally, I brought up the idea of this, that maybe we were going to take this trading range that we had made on Tuesday, where we had put in this low at 26.31, and that maybe we were going to, and then we made a low, and then we came back and we made a lower low near the close, and I thought that maybe the way that we had traded up, and then we worked for a while to try and get over this high, and once we pushed through it and made a flat right there along it, making a little bit higher high over Tuesday, I got this idea maybe we're going to do a double up thing here. So this would have been Tuesday's range that I circled around here. And if we were to have doubled up on Tuesday's range for the session on Wednesday or even going into Friday, we would have made it all the way up to about 27.07, 27.08 or so. And that's already a level that exists on our 5-minute charts, levels that we're studying and watching for. So that made a lot of sense. And I never bothered to put in the double down idea. Well, the double down idea would take us all the way down to break the 2600 level and down to just below this 25.94.62 level, which we haven't touched on yet because our low so far for this sell-off has been 26.03. This was the May low, and it's like the next level that I've had marked on all the daily charts, the next one down, that would come our way as a possible testing point for support. And if we were to simply double down Tuesday's range, we would get there. The low over the holiday translates to just about a half-point spread or so that was trading towards the end of the day between S&P 500 and ES. So right here, we would just barely break into this double down idea here on, as far as that goes, just by matching what went on over the holiday in futures. So, but if we open up flat, maybe we're going to come back and we're going to take another stab at it. Going over to the daily chart, you can see here was the low from last week. Yet another sort of head fake where we pressed down to 2670, which meant nothing. It really didn't rhyme with anything going on here near the very low of the sell-off. And so it made sense that this week we tested a little lower and got a little closer to this low. But now our highs are failing to get above this low that we made last week. So that's just, the recipe for further downside. So if we're bullish and we think we're going to get a little rally going tomorrow, we've got to push on up through 2670 and hold. And if we get up to 2670 and fail again, that's quite an obvious choice entry for a short there. That would be like your greatest edge right now and your easiest thing to remember. So if for some reason we are back to flat tomorrow at the open at 2650 and we start working our way up another 20 points and run into a wall of sellers again, start pricing your puts and pick something out. Shoot for that 26, 26 level that we would equate to by testing it here on the S&P. And of course, if we break a little lower, maybe we would back test this 2603 low altogether from back here in October, or push down a little further and do that sort of doubling down of the range that we had put on the chart on Tuesday to begin with, and push all the way down here to this May low, below 2600 at 2594. And then you can sort of get into the idea that if we got down there and we couldn't close back above 2600, that it'll be say goodnight, and we're going to go on ahead and we're going to go for that maybe 2480 target that we've been sizing up to begin with since late October over here in the private account. And maybe it'll come now with the Fed minutes coming up this week, and the G20 as well. And now also just realizing that we've got Powell speaking again on Wednesday. What is he, like, speaking every Wednesday? Is that like a thing now? Just so that he can screw with the market? So we got Cyber Monday. I'm sure there's some important data of some sort that I haven't put on here yet. But the big deal will be Wednesday with GDP, and now we've got Powell speaking. I don't know if it's the middle of the day or the end of the day, but I'll figure it out and I'll post about it. And then of course Fed minutes on Thursday, and the G20 we get all like ready for on Friday. Now I've heard a couple of comments in the background noise of CNBC this week that people think that this is we're going to actually get a short covering rally into the G20. That people are going to expect that these two idiots are going to come to a meeting of the minds and solve the world's problems over trade at that meeting, and that everybody wants to be positioned just in case there's some sort of like positivity that comes out of it. So maybe I'm wrong that we're going to have, a sell-off into the end of the week. Maybe we're getting our sell-off now with the selling over Thanksgiving. Maybe it's going to continue on Friday and into Monday, and then maybe we're going to hear something that doesn't have anything to do at all with policy, something that just, calms them, or something that calms the markets. So there's nothing to sell off about there. And then maybe the market will spin in some positive way in its own mind, something that it sees in the Fed minutes, and that we sort of work our way back up over 2,700 or something as we head into Friday ahead of the G20. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. But in any case, I just wanted to give you something quick to think about as we head into trade for the week. Let's take one more look again at that intraday chart. So we closed around 2649, 2650s. If you wake up in the morning and you see futures are already back to 2650, and you look and see if Apple, Amazon, Google, the whole complex there is all looking like it's bidding higher than where it closed on Friday in the pre-market, and then on Friday and Wednesday in the pre-market, then great. Maybe we're going to take a stab one more time at 2670, and if we can move above 2670, let's think about this idea of doubling up the range that we set on Tuesday which would get us all the way up here to ultimately to 2707 by way of a whole bunch of levels that we'd have to get through first? Or are we going to open flat and then roll over and fail and come on down here and maybe wind up, you know, staring down the barrel at the 2603 level by the time we finish trade on Friday? We'll see. Okay, hope this helps. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See you tomorrow for a half day that only trades up until 1 o'clock Eastern.